Okay, so we are less than 2 weeks away, 10 days away from the conference, and this is perfect timing for everyone to ask questions. And we have the whole team here. We have Carla, who's in her car, but she's able to answer questions about scholarships and other questions about community support items at the conference. We have Amanda, who's going to be at the conference working. Sean will be running the research roundtable and doing a couple sessions. Hey, Sean. And then Michelle is here from the board. Hello, Michelle. Jenny is on. She's our board chair. She'll be helping with the conference. And Emily is here. Hi, Emily. Emily will be managing the sibling programs at the conference. So if you have questions about that, you can talk to Emily. And Gloria is planning the entire event. So we owe Gloria a big round of applause, especially me. She's done a lot. So any questions about logistics, please feel free to ask any of us. So I thought I would start out by walking you through the agenda. And please, as you think of questions, go ahead and put them in the chat so you don't forget about them. And we'll just continuously ask them out of the chat. Gloria, you sent me yeah, here we go. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can everyone see this? This is the program. It's beautiful. So this is the front page, the location. This will be printed in a booklet for you when you get there, when you check in on Wednesday. Our sponsors. There's a welcome letter from me. And then this is the schedule. So day one is Wednesday. That's the research roundtable meeting. That is the professionals meeting that Sean is running. Sean, do you want to walk through the agenda for this, or would you like me to just run through?
I'm happy to, whatever your preference is.
Okay.
Do you want me to go through granular line by line, or do you want me to kind of give the high level takeaways?
High level, general, and also a reminder, I think Karen's going to give a little bit of a overview in the general session.
Absolutely. So our research roundtable is a mostly professionals only session, which will include researchers, clinicians, drug developing companies, and then people just kind of generally working in the science realm in our ecosystem. And the point of that day long event is to kind of bring together all the best minds within our space to talk about things that are, still problems in the area of drug development within SCN2A. And are there areas that we can focus on to, accelerate drugs to our children? So we have kind of 3 sessions within the day. The first is on kind of academic research. So this is kind of investigating still outstanding questions that exist within the realm of SCN2A. So we have a number of kind of interesting presentations and drug development projects that our different researchers are working on, and a number of which we as Families SCN2A are funding, which is really exciting. And that session on kind of basic research concludes with a group workshop with everybody in the audience. We'll all be kind of working collaboratively on identifying really key barriers that we could focus on and elevate within our community. The next session is on clinical research. And the main session for debate and topic within that session is how do we take the excellent care that's being performed at kind of major academic centers and trickle that down into our community. So I live in Buffalo and we don't have the greatest neurology clinics in Buffalo. How do we kind of get the great neurology done at Boston Children's and raise the level of awareness in Buffalo and other places like that? We see it. Lee and I talk to families all the time. And it's very clear that there is still a major barrier there, that the level of education of kind of academic centers around SCN2A is still quite poor. So this session, we're bringing together kind of all of our best clinicians and trying to pull information out of their mind and find ways to disseminate it within the community. The third session is on industry and drug development exclusively. And it's working on how do we, for drugs in development, how do we work so that the drugs that are eventually approved are approved for the broadest patient population possible. And then also identifying kind of giving kind of our industry partners the floor to talk about barriers that they're seeing within the science and in the drug development and regulatory pathways, just to raise the level of awareness within our community. I'll pause there, but those are kind of the key takeaways that we'll be discussing and debating during the research roundtable. And then one member from our team for accelerating science and clinical outcomes, our TASCO, will be giving kind of a rundown on our Cliff Notes version to start the conference during the general session the next day. But happy to take any questions on the research roundtable, and we're excited about it.
Thanks, Sean. I'm not sure if anyone else can see chat, but while I'm sharing screen, it's hard for me to. So are there any questions in chat? Okay. Does anyone want to take themselves off mute and ask Sean a question about the research roundtable? Okay. If you think of anything, feel free to email either one of us. We also, thanks to some really great feedback from grandparents, decided to move the grandparents' night. It's just a gathering of grandparents and extended family that it's going to be in a suite up in the hotel. My mother is hosting it, so there'll be wine. And she is very, very excited to meet some of the other grandparents. That has been moved from Friday night to Wednesday night. This way, moms can go out on Friday night and leave their kids with grandparents because we know the dads aren't doing it. All right, so that is Wednesday. Oh, you know what? I did forget one thing. Registration. So registration is from 2 to 5 on Wednesday. And Gloria, do you want to say anything about registration and what to expect during registration? Or would you like me to go over that?
You can go over it.
Okay. So the registration will have multiple tables. You can go in there, you could pick up your bag, which will have this program in it. It will have, there'll be other resources available, such as a glossary of terms that Michelle and Sean put together. So like, what is a wild type? You'll hear these terms throughout the conference. These researchers don't know how to talk in any other language except for science. So you'll hear terms that you might have to do a quick lookup on your phone. So instead we're printing a glossary of the most common terms for you to just quickly scan over and get an idea of what they mean. So that'll be available. There'll be a list available of local restaurants and how far they are. Also, with registration, you get your Disney tickets, which will be on cards. And you also get a water bottle because we are going green, and we're going to have ice water all over the hotel that you can fill up your water bottle. And you will get a misting fan to keep cool at Disney. There will also be a sales table, so there'll be merchandise available for sales. And this is where you could drop off your swap shop stuff, like anything that, I don't know if you guys have seen my emails, but anything maybe your kids have outgrown, some adaptive clothing or special SCN2A things, or maybe something that you bought for your child that just doesn't work and you want to bring it. It could be pieces of medical equipment or sensory items, anything like that that you think would be something another family would appreciate. We're going to have a table set up where you could drop stuff off and take stuff home with you. Any questions on the swap shop? I hope that my emails were making sense about what the swap shop is.
It's not a question about the swap shop, but Erica in the chat just asked, will the glossary terms be available digitally for those that are remotely joining, which would be a great idea.
Fantastic idea. Thank you, Erica. You know what we'll do when we send around the link for the virtual link, we'll add the glossary of terms there. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay. All right, so now the exciting part. Thursday. So Wednesday night you're on your own for dinner, but you're like right in the middle of Disneyland. So there's probably 100 restaurants within walking distance. So you will have a lot of options. Plus, Gloria and I had lunch at the restaurant in the hotel, and it was really good. And not very expensive. So that's an option as well. Okay, so day 2 is Thursday, August 1st, and that'll be day 1 for some of you. You can also pick up your packet and register in the morning before the conference starts. So registration will be set up at 7 a.m. Breakfast will be available in 2 different locations. If for those of you that attended the conference in Boston, you might remember we had the general session room where you could eat inside where they do all the presentations, or you could go and eat outside by the pool. It's going to be similar here, except for it's much closer. Okay, SIBS camp. Emily, do you want to talk about SIBS camp and drop off?
Sure. So SIB camp is fully drop off and supervised. I already recognize some names here of people who have signed up, siblings, and we're very excited to have them. Sibling SCN2A kids are welcome to join sibling activities under the condition that they always have a one-to-one adult caregiver with them. And also under the condition that it is on-site activities only, so no field trips. That's just for various reasons, and that was the best we could do to accommodate. But we also have an SCN2A specific room. I have siblings and an SCN2A daughter, and I plan to utilize both SIB camps as well as the SCN2A room. And the SCN2A room will be adjacent to the general session. If your child is anything like mine, she likes to be walked around in her wheelchair, sometimes needs like a nice dim room and a quiet break. And that is what the SCN2A room is for. The SIB Camp Sign Up Genius has all of the info that you need. However, if something was unclear, because I know it was a lot of information, I can definitely take any questions now as well.
Michelle, are there any questions in chat? Does anyone want to take themselves off of mute and ask a question about the SIBS camp? I do have one question that came via email, and it was from a parent that was wondering about the ratio of staff to children. Do you have an answer for that one, Emily?
I do. So right now it looks like there will be roughly 10 to 11 in the age 2 to 7-year-old group. And that's a group where we want to maintain the best ratios possible. So there are 3 adult caregivers for that group. So that's a ratio for the little ones. For the older ones, it's 8 and over. It looks like there's about 19 to 20 who are signed up for that group so far. And about half is the age 13 or younger. So the ratio, there are 3 volunteers, 3 adult caregivers, plus adult chaperone volunteers, as well as myself. So it should actually be a pretty comparable ratio of, I'm considering 17 and 18 to kind of go into the adult age. You don't really need a chaperone at that point. So it's about 4 to 1 across the board.
Okay, that's fantastic. And
Yeah.
Emily, thank you so much for rounding up the staff from and these are people that you know, so it makes it even a little bit more comfortable for people to leave their kids there. Because if you trust them, we trust them, right?
Yes, they are actually, they all have degrees in early childhood development. They are volunteers from, all three of my children went to a preschool here in LA. I'm local here and they are volunteers. So they're wonderful.
It's amazing. This is the first year that we've been able to offer this. So many of you parents have been asking us to do childcare at the conferences, and we just haven't been able to swing it until now. So this is going to be the very first conference we've been able to do this for, and I think the feedback from last year and the year before, when siblings were able to have a little bit of time together, it's been amazing. These siblings have made lifelong friends by meeting other people that understand their life. Okay, so you might notice in pink writing, there's a different line in the agenda. And we want to just point out that one of the foundation's core values is inclusion. And one of the ways that we do that is to be as inclusive as possible. As we want as many people to come to this conference as possible. So we try to offer scholarships to offset the financial burden. And we also want to make sure that families that have lost their child to this disease are welcome to come back, because we are one community, and we want to make sure that they feel comfortable with us. And so we have 2 volunteers from our loss committee that have made a beautiful, different but integrated agenda to fit their needs. So you might, anything in pink, that is for families who have lost a child. In one of the emails that I sent out, there was some tips on how to engage with these families. They want you to talk to them. They want you to talk about their kids and remember them. So feel free to read through that. And if you have any questions or any comments, please let us know. Are we good, Michelle? All right, so this is the agenda. We're going to have different sessions. So you'll see session number 1 is about genetics and sort of a state of the union, like where are we with SCN2A? And Stephen Sanders will be giving that. He'll be giving an overview of where we started and where we are today. And it's pretty remarkable how the science has taken off. Karen's going to give a very brief overview of what happened at the research roundtable, so we all stay up to date on what the researchers are working on. And then we have a quick break, and then we come back for session 2. And this session is because you participated. So this will be research that has either been published or is about to be published because of opportunities that have been presented to our families and our community, and because you participated in them, they've been able to make progress. So these will all be updates on those research opportunities that you've participated in. Lunch, again, same as breakfast, in 2 different places, so you can make a choice of where you eat. And then Emily, can you explain how the SIB camp works at mealtime?
Yes, so SID camps is when the camp counselor, teacher, volunteers are able to also get in their lunch break, but additionally start setting up for the afternoon session. So the morning session is indoors, arts and crafts and activities run like an indoor camp. And then the afternoon, because it gets hot in Anaheim, is outdoor water play with sprinklers pretty much, and some outdoor fun activities where they can move around. So they do need time to set that up. So it's a check-in for the morning session, and it's an actual pickup check out when that session concludes. And then it's a check back in after lunch, and then it's a check out for the PM session. And just a quick note about early checkouts. I think it's less applicable for the younger group, but for the older group, let's say if you have a 14-year-old who wants to leave, that unless the parent has given actual permission to leave, or unless the parent is on the phone and approving that, they will not be allowed to leave. So just a quick note about if there's like varied schedules, that we do have an early checkout policy.
That's really smart. I just got off the phone earlier today with another advocate from another group. It's the CDKL5 group. It's a different gene group. They had this exact scenario happen at their conference where, a teenager said, I'm bored, I'm done, I'm leaving. And I mean, the whole place was put on lockdown, I mean, you don't quite understand what that does to the people that are responsible for you. So please do talk to your kids and let them know that they can't just make a decision to leave on their own.
Yes, I have a 13-year-old, and that's where that policy came from, because for better or for worse, they think they're a little bit more autonomous, but I think just for safety and for simplicity, that's our early checkout policy.
Perfect, thank you. Does anyone have any questions about how lunch is going to work or how the first half of the day is going to go? So you'll see on here, the family photo sessions start after lunch. Those are sign up only, so you must sign up for that. We'll get to those in a little bit. So here's the after lunch session number 3. We're going to be, this is kind of an interesting topic here. So we have genetics, we have autism, and we have ocular manifestations of SCN2A. So this is going to be an ophthalmologist that's going to be talking about things that can go wrong with the eyes besides CVI. We all know about CVI. And if you don't, there'll be a session on that on Friday. But this is a doctor that's going to talk about different kinds of manifestations that can happen in the eyes. Dr. Lord is she's got an amazing study that she's been doing, looking at kids longitudinally since age 2, and now they're 34 years old. So she'll be talking about that. And Emily's going to be talking about the genetics and inheritance of SCN2A. All right, then we take a quick break, and the last session of the day is all clinical talks. Now I am skipping over the most important talks of this, and those are our family stories, but I'm sure you guys are reading through that. We have 4 very brave volunteers who have offered to share their stories, and they are the most meaningful part of the conference by far. But I don't want to give anything away, so I'm not going to go too much into Bert the Flirt story. We'll let Amy do that. All right, so the last session is clinical. We're going to hear from Dr. Olson from Boston Children's. We're going to hear from Dr. Stanari. She's in California. She's going to talk about a collaborative approach to treating complex patients like ours. And then we're going to hear from Dr. Keith Kaufman, the most famous doctor of all, Michelle's daughter's doctor. And he is going to talk about autonomic dysfunction, which comes up a lot in our group discussion. Okay, so that is all those are all of the talks, and then we're going to wrap up. We're going to take a really big group picture. So please make sure that is on your calendar. That your kids are changed and ready to go for that, because we don't want to miss, and we don't want anyone to miss out on that opportunity. And then we're going to have a nice break from 4:45 to 6. Scientific poster session. So a lot of the researchers will be presenting a poster, a big poster with their work, their scientific work on it. And they will be standing next to their poster and talking about it. And we can go over, we can talk to them directly about their work. We can ask them questions. We can tell them about our kids and our kids' variant, how they present. They want to hear from us. So this is your opportunity to go around, talk to the different researchers, learn about the different work they're doing, and network, or go up to your hotel room and put your feet up and take a break. Then we have our very special dinner, and that is so from 6 to 6:30 we'll have a cocktail hour, and then dinner will be served at 6:15. Our program, for those of you that haven't been to a conference before, this is a really nice dinner. This is a special dinner where we remember the kids who have passed away. We say their names out loud. And then we talk about what we're doing to fight back and the urgency that we feel in honor of the kids that have passed away and the kids that are still living and waiting for a cure. And we will talk about some of the work that's being done. We'll celebrate some of the researchers that have exemplified our core values. And so that's a really beautiful dinner, a nice night. You don't have to dress up, but it is a little bit nicer than Applebee's. How about that? And then dads go out that night. So after dinner, the dads are going to walk over to the bowling alley, and that is also by sign up only. Okay, any questions for Thursday?
Leah, do you want to mention that we're also in the packet for anybody who wants to take it, along with the glossary of terms for the poster session? Anybody that's interested in that, do you want to talk about that?
Yes, that's actually in here, right, Gloria? It's in the packet.
Oh, it's in the okay.
I think we did. I don't remember.
A layman's poster
Yeah.
information, that's a separate packet that will have that next to the glossary of terms for anyone who wants to pick it up.
Okay. Okay, so Sean and Michelle worked on a really fun project where they talked to ChatGPT and came up with a lay summary, which Sean, do you want to explain what a lay summary is for the posters?
Sure. Yeah, it essentially kind of takes all the scientific jargon and translates it into the normal human being language. So you can kind of take, you can kind of go into the poster with an understanding of what they're working on and what the goals and aims are. But the idea is that it kind of takes their scientific abstract and translates it into normal English.
Thank you. And thank you for spending time on doing that. I think it's really important. So we put all of that together. Michelle made a really nice packet, and Gloria is going to have those printed, and they'll be available for you to take, read through, and that will help you guide and plan your time. So like if there's certain posters you prefer to go see, you can make sure that you go see those. We'll try to get all of these up on the website too. Okay, so Thursday, that's dinner and dad's night. And then on Friday, the entire general session room will be divided up into two. So there'll be two different rooms, and in each room will be a track. So there's two tracks you get to pick from. Each session, there's two different tracks. So like this one right here from 9 to 10:20, you could either go to the tough discussions you should be having, and that is talking about some ethical considerations when you're participating in clinical trials, and also palliative care and hospice just as an extra resource for your family. Or you can go to track 2, which is preparing and strengthening for the long haul. That's a self-care talk and a talk about CVI. And many of you might remember Becky Halmer from previous conferences. She's amazing. You are also fine to go back and forth. So if you go and you want to do the ethical considerations for clinical trials, and then you don't want to do palliative care, you can jump over to the other room and do CVI. Any questions about how the breakouts work? Okay, so these are some really great topics, and we tried to divide them up by interest. So like there's breakout number 2 here is like autism on one side and more epilepsy talks on the other side. Same thing for lunch and poster session and CIVS camps on Friday. We have some more breakouts. I'm not going to go over this because you guys can look at the agenda on the website. We have a nice long break from 4 to 6, and it's so you can change into your Hawaiian wear and your grass skirt, and then you can come to the warrior dance party and dinner, And the theme is Ohana means family. The theme of the entire conference is family. And so what better way to celebrate it when in Disney than with Ohana. The dress is Hawaiian wear, and it's such a fun night. We'll have a DJ, we'll have a dance floor, we'll have really good food and a bar for the parents. And then at 8 o'clock, the moms are dismissed and they go out to mom's night. And that is at the same place as the dad's night, which is Bolero, which is down the street, walking distance. And so that is it for Friday. Any questions at all about Friday? Okay, so Saturday is on your own. This is Disney Day. This is where we have reserved, if you have tickets, we've reserved your spot at Disneyland, because now you actually have to have a reservation to go, so they can make sure that there aren't too many people in the park at any one time. I've been sending emails about Disney and DAS Pass, which is the Disability Access Pass. Does anyone have any questions on that? Or maybe Amanda, would you like to share your experience with the DAS Pass?
Sure. For anyone that has been waiting a very long time like I have, I literally have spent days waiting for a cast member to accept my call, and today I logged in right when they opened and I had a cast member accept my video call within the hour, which was great. It was an easy, quick call. They met with Henry and I. It took about 5 or 6 minutes, and they were able to answer a lot of my questions that I had. Yeah, it was a very, very simple process, and happy to answer any questions if anyone has any questions for me.
Emily, maybe you can give us a better idea of, is it worth having the DAS Pass for kids like ours?
For some rides, yes. I think something that everybody should know is that it only applies to lines. My understanding, they just changed the rules, but my understanding is it only applies to the rides where the lines are not ADA. So, for example, It's a Small World is an ADA line. So there is a chance you will still wait in that line because your child could still be in their wheelchair for that line. I think it might boil down to being like child specific, like why and what the accommodations are. But I have a loss of function daughter who can stand and move around, but she definitely has a hard time standing for like over an hour in one line. So that's one thing that I think is a good thing to have a heads up about, and just to read the details on what your specific accommodations are, and to understand that there is a chance that for some rides you will be able to utilize this and some rides you will not. Outside of rides, it actually can be helpful. So for example, if your kid is 4 and they are still using a stroller, which is not a wheelchair. Strollers are not allowed in restaurants, but clearly you need your stroller to be your wheelchair. They will allow you to stroll your child in, but normally you would have to keep your stroller parked outside of like a restaurant or an entertainment attraction. So that's another time when it would come into play. They do have ADA areas set aside for parade viewing as well. That's always just first come, first serve, unless you make some sort of special reservation. But I guess bottom line that the first time I used this pass, and this was under the old rules, not the new rules, but for some rides, I was surprised that I still wasn't accommodated. particularly the rides that are ADA, such as It's a Small World's the one that stands out to me. Can I just drop a completely side irrelevant note? If you're on the
Yes.
California adventure side, because everybody gets a park hopper, the aerial ride is the best. The line moves, it looks long, but it moves fast, and that ride is air conditioned.
Oh,
It's a nice break. And it's dark and it's one of the more quiet rides. It's more soothing for the kids. So I just want to PSA, if you're
yeah,
in California Adventure, aerial ride's pretty good.
we will be there. I'm just going to keep getting back in line. Awesome. Okay, thank you. Does anyone have questions about DAS Pass or their Disney tickets?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amy in the chat asked, where on the Disneyland app, where can you find the DAS Pass?
Where can you find that? You have to, so information about the DAS Pass, you mean, or,
Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, so yeah, so I did wait online and got him approved. It was a whole deal because we were in the hospital, and then yeah, but I got him approved, and then they said that I would need to sign up for the rides in the Disneyland app. Does that like not, are you not able to find out how to do that until like the day of, or is there a way in the app to show that we are approved for it? I don't know if I need to like look at it any further because I got the verbal confirmation when I was on the phone with them, but
Yeah, shortly after, so I could just speak for me, shortly after we were approved, it popped up on my app, about the DAS. It wasn't there before. So,
oh,
and so like, right, if I click on it right now, it tells me how long the waits are, and which rides are eligible. Do you see that, on your app, Emily or Amanda? Did you download the app yet?
mm,
Maybe Carla too. Carla might have input because she did it as well.
I haven't actually downloaded our app yet. I'm very behind.
Okay, I did, and it actually has a button that I can click. It says Disability Access Service, and I click it, and it tells me which rides are eligible and how much the wait is currently. But all of the information on this is in my email. So, Amy, are you getting my emails?
I am, yes.
I know that you've got a lot going on, so just like I've tried to just forward each email so you can go back and read past ones. I hope that's helpful. But I put 3 different links into either the first or second about the DAS Pass and how it works and everything. But I'm sure that we can all figure it out together when we're there.
Yeah,
Right,
Leah,
okay.
I'd have to say I have used this, and that's consistent with my experience. And if you look, Leah, could you confirm, this is a good one, could you confirm whether It's a Small World appears on your list of eligible rides? Because that would tell me if they changed these rules or not. But
It
yeah,
is on
so
here.
oh, interesting. Okay, so they must have changed the rules. But
And
yes, it's kind of like any other lightning pass if you've ever been to an amusement park where you can select the ride and it shows the wait time and you can select the ride. And then usually there's like a window of time where you can go and hop on the ride. I've also done the low tech version where I've gotten this pass from City Hall, which is right when you enter ticketing. City Hall is the first thing you walk past on your way to Main Street. I've just stood in a line and I've gotten a sticker placed onto my stroller. And that sticker serves as indication that we were eligible for basically accommodations. So high tech is on the app, like a reservation system, and then low tech is like a tag basically that you put on your stroller or wheelchair.
okay. Cool. Any other questions in chat, Michelle? Okay. Okay, so I've also been sending a lot of information about research opportunity signups, and a lot of you have already signed up. I just want to make sure that you know that you can do certain ones again. If you've participated in the BioGene EEG study in the past at different conferences, she likes to do them every year. So if you've already done it, it doesn't exclude you from doing it again. It's actually good because what she's looking at is longitudinally, how is it changing, especially during puberty. So she's super excited to do Ben's and Colin's EEG because they are definitely there. So any questions about these opportunities? Some of these might be new to you, so you might have questions about them. Once you sign up, what I'll do is I'll put the primary investigator. So for instance, for eye movements, I'll have Kevin reach out to you directly with getting you to do any pre-work that's involved, like for instance, signing a consent. So you don't have to be held up there to do it. Most of these have information on it, so you probably have read through it, and that's why you're not asking questions, which is great. But if you do have
I have a quick question.
yeah.
Are there any for parent, because a lot of people on here are probably bringing their kids, like me, I'm not bringing my kid. Is there any opportunities that I could participate in that just need like parent input?
Yes. Yes, you can do this one, the clinical picture maker. This one is literally just going in there, learning about it and signing up, getting involved in it. So you'll sit down, they'll help you create an account. They'll explain to you how to use the app, what to look for. It's like hands-on help. And then Dragonfly Study is also the same thing. So Dragonfly Study is our registry, the global registry that's launching. We just got IRB approval this over the weekend. So that is launching fully at the conference. We're in the middle of a soft launch right now with some tester families. The Dragonfly Study, Michelle, you can go and speak with Brad, the PI, and he'll talk to you about it. He'll get you signed up. And so that way it's all taken care of. So when you can go home and do the surveys, or you can do them, during mom's night while you're not bowling. The eye movements, obviously you have to have your kid there. Qualitative research, yes, you can do that one. That one is actually just for parents anyways. And this one's going to be one of our researchers is going to be asking you about what it means to you to be involved in research. And this is going to be published very, very soon, actually. So the more people that can participate in this, the better. The UT Health, that will be for the kids. They're good. I mean, you'll have work to do too, but you have to have your kid there to do it. But also feel free to talk to the team about their center and any questions about maybe visiting the center. I know that Jacqueline, you've expressed interest in that, so maybe it might be a good opportunity for you to meet some of the people that will be running it. In addition to research opportunities, hey, can anyone check the waiting room? Looks like there's people in the waiting room.
Leah, I have a question. This is Jessica.
Hey, Jessica.
I tried to sign up for a couple of the research. I got onto most of them, but I think there was 2 that were full. There were no more spots left. There like a waiting list for those, or did I just kind of sign up too late?
Which ones?
I think it was is it the UT?
I'm going to be opening up more spots for UT. And I definitely want you to get in there. I think specifically, you should get in there. I think you and Jacqueline actually have a lot in common. You both have kids where it's really hard to understand the function of your variants. And they're tricky. They're tricky variants and they're tricky presentations. And I think you guys have a lot in common, actually. And I think that UT would be very interested in that. And I think I'll make sure that you get in there. So as soon as I open it up, I'll reach out to you personally.
Okay, and then I don't remember the other one, but I could probably email you when I go back through.
If it was genetic counseling, that goes with UT Health. So I'll make sure that those go together.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so in addition to research, there's other opportunities that are just awesome, like CPR and first aid. Emily and Gloria's sister, Paula, is going to be teaching CPR and first aid. This is not a certification. Am I right? I don't think you actually get a certificate, but these skills are so incredibly important, especially for us as parents, with kids that, you know, could be in situations where we need to act quickly. So I know that I'll be getting a refresher course while there. The photo sessions, these are family photo sessions. Even if you're not coming with your kid and you are coming with girlfriends, that's fine. You could still do it. Sign up. This is like I don't know about you guys, but I don't get family photos very often. So this is a real treat for us. And then this one, 15-minute mini massages. You can thank Jacqueline for that. That was Jacqueline's idea. And she even thought about like the potential of reaching out to like massage schools in the area. And I did. And I found someone that was willing to do it. But she's actually a licensed therapist. She's not even a student. So she's going to come and she's going to do 15-minute mini massages seated for families in the SCN2A room on Friday. And if there's no more of those, I will kick my husband out and give it to somebody. So just let me know. CVI assessments. This is the cortical visual impairment, where it's not anything wrong with the eyes, but it's how the brain processes the vision. And a lot of families have reported that it's really difficult for them to get a really good assessment in their local school system. So we have brought a TVI to the conference who will be doing one-on-one CVI assessments in the hotel. And she'll give you a full report to take back with you to your doctor to get an official diagnosis. Remember, TVIs, the teachers for the visually impaired, they're not allowed to diagnose. They can't like give you a diagnosis, but they can write a report that you could take with you and you can get a diagnosis. It's the only way it works. And this TVI is pretty cool. She's my son's TVI, and I'll tell you, she's pretty amazing. So I think there's opportunities for that still available, which I'm surprised because they're very limited. So mom's night, dad's night, grandparents' night, genetic counseling, Michelle, that's another one parents can do without their kid. So these are all QR codes you can sign up on even if you didn't get a chance to sign up earlier and you're at the conference, and you can scan it and there might be a cancellation or an opportunity for you to participate. So this is the SIB camp information. I'm pretty sure this is all the stuff that Emily's already emailed to each of you that have signed up for SIB camp. So this isn't really a surprise. If there's anyone that did not get an email from Emily that's planning on doing SIB camp that's on the call, is there anyone that has not gotten an email that's planning on doing SIB camp? Okay, good. So this is just, we've printed out a little bio and picture of all the presenters. So you can, when you network, when you at lunch or on breaks, you could go over and talk to these people. Again, they want to hear from you. They want to know about your kids. So make sure you print out your genetic report and have it with you. So when you go over, you can say, here's my kid's genetic report. Will you look at it? That's what they're there for. I'm not going to go through all of these, but I am going to, who is that? That's a very good picture.
Thank you.
There's Amy. All right, so we've got, that's day one. This is day two. These are the tracks. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. Then we've got a place for notes and some contacts information in here, and ways to help us capture the event. There's a map in your book. So you'll see this is the layout of the hotel. It's all on one floor, the meeting space, which is nice, so we can easily find each other. All of the general session will be in the Park Ballroom, as well as the SIB camp and the SCN2A room. And then the research opportunities will be scattered around in some of these rooms here. There's a pool So make sure you bring your suit. And then this is just the schedule at a glance, and this will be printed in the book. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing and open it up to anyone that has any questions because I talked way too much.
I have a question. Is my family, we received a scholarship, which I'm so thankful for. And it's for my mom, myself, my 16-year-old, and my 10-year-old, who's my SCN2A guy. Just lately, he has been having horrible anxiety in the car, and he's having surgery on his feet in September, and so he's in a lot of pain, and behaviorally, he's very difficult right now. So if he is not able to attend, can the rest of my family, can we still come?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. There are families coming that their kids just don't travel well. Jacqueline is coming without, Michelle's coming. Jenny's not bringing her son. Sean's not bringing his family this year. It's just sometimes really hard to travel with our kids. So we understand.
It's a 6-hour drive too, and he is like been hysterical in the cars. So, but I will, should I email the lady that's handling the scholarships and let her know for sure, like in the next couple days?
You could still have the scholarship even if you're not bringing your child.
Okay, that would be great.
Yeah, that's not going to change the scholarship. You could just email me and tell me to take your 10-year-old off of the registration list.
Okay, I will do that. And I know my 16-year-old, he helps caregive. He's excited to go to Disneyland. So he doesn't get much time with mom since, little one. I mean, he does, but anyway, we're really excited and very grateful for this will be our first conference. So we're excited to come.
So excited to meet you.
Oh, good. Thank you. Okay.
Of course. Thank you for making the effort. I mean, it's these conferences would not be anything without our families. So we really appreciate you coming.
Okay. Thank you.
I just wanted to share for the QR codes, it's to sign up, but also if you forgot when and where you signed up, you can go back and check.
So if you're like me, we're going to have staff too that'll be sitting at the tables that you can go connect with, talk to, and find out, where am I supposed to go? I've lost my mind. Can you help me find it? And they will help you.
If we are speaking, the day that we wear the shirts, we wear the shirts, or do I need to change and something else to do my little talk?
It's a really good question. Actually, I'm really glad you brought it up.
Okay.
So I know I said wear shirts on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
And my emails. I've been thinking about that. What do you guys think about doing it on Saturday for Disney instead of Thursday? I know, Gloria, I think we talked about doing it because of the pictures and everyone would be in the same shirt.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? I'm totally open.
I feel like our big group picture last year, we weren't all in the same shirt.
We weren't.
No, we weren't.
And I think that's totally fine. I think wear it whenever.
I just remember in Columbus, we tried to tell people when to wear their shirt. And I still can never get out of my head the picture of Yang, Dr. Yang, with his shirt over his suit.
Oh, I don't remember that.
He was dressed up. He wanted to be part of the team, but also, be dressed up. Give me another day and then I'll send final communication about that. But you,
Okay.
Since you're going to be standing on stage, you wear what you feel comfortable in, and and what you're willing to be captured in forever, because you'll be recorded.
And I didn't know how much I could dress up a t-shirt, so I didn't know, what to do.
I mean, they are really nice shirts, though. I mean, the design is really cute.
Oh, I love them. They're so cute. Yeah. But it might be easy for us to spot each other at Disneyland too, if we're in our shirts there,
and we could be spreading awareness all over Disney.
Exactly. Yeah. I think Disney would be a great day for them.
Yeah.
All right, give me another day to
Okay.
consult the team, and then because no one's going to do it'll never all be everyone doing the same thing anyways.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. And also, are all the family talks going to be the first day? Because I know the second day we have two different tracks. So if we're in another track, will we miss one family's talk?
No, all the family stories will be on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
tracks are much shorter, much more personal talks. They're 20-minute talks with 20-minute Q&A for each one.
Okay.
So you'll have a lot of time to ask questions and access the center.
Okay. So I was also worried too. I'm like, you go to the seminars for the talks, but then when you sign up for the research, then you have to miss out on a lot of the talks. So I'm trying to decide which ones are what's more important, the research or the talks. But I know the talks will be recorded, but then you also have the opportunity to ask questions if you're in there. So just trying to decide on that too.
It's a lot. I mean, it's amazing. I think we could have conferences for a full week.
Yeah.
And but I'm not sure who would take off a full week from work to do it,
Yeah.
but we have enough information and to spread this out. It always feels packed at the end.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is 3 full days of meetings. Okay, if nobody has any other questions, I will put this recording into YouTube and make it available to everyone else.
I did put in the chat. I put a little bit of info about Disney just because I'm so obsessed with Disney, and I don't have any specific knowledge of Disneyland. I've been trying to. Everybody I follow is Disney World, but I've been trying to follow more Disneyland people. But we have used DAS twice with my daughter at Disney World. I know they changed the application process and all that, and I don't know if there's any differences in Disneyland, but I did just put that YouTube can be very helpful learning how to use the DAS Pass, the app, all kinds of things. There's a guy called Tim Tracker that does some videos. There's also Disney Food Blog, and it's not just food. They do a lot of informational videos that are really helpful. So if anybody is curious and wants more information about any of that, that's a good resource. And then just download the app as soon as you can and get familiar with it. There's so much useful information on there, where to find a bathroom. You can mobile order food, so you're not standing in line when you get ready for it. You mobile order it, and then you say, you tell them you're ready for it, and then they tell you when it's ready. You go get it. It tells you wait times, maps, locations, just so much stuff. So if anybody's been putting that off and you plan on going to Disney, I'd say do that now.
Yeah. I've already made reservations at places.
Yeah.
Those are hard to
I
come
haven't
by.
done any food reservations, but I've been trying to figure out how to get the most rides in since
You're a
M's
ride.
not gonna be
You're a ride.
there, and I want to do all the rides.
You're a ride person. I'm a food person.
Well, I'm a food person too. Trust me, we'll be getting snacks and drinks and all of that as we
It's
go
going to
make
be
our
so
rounds.
fun to walk around Disney and see each other,
I know.
like
Yep. Yep. I'm
I'm
excited.
actually feeling good about that. Like the fact that, sometimes it's hard to take our kids places, but to know
Yeah.
that we'll have our family all around, it's going to be fun.
I know. I really wish him could come, but that's just too far. But even like Kendall said, like her child's sibling. I mean, they make a lot of sacrifices. So just for them to be able to go and experience and have some time alone with mom, like that's super important too. So I think it's gonna be good for everybody that goes, no matter who you have with you.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for all that information too on Disney. That's really helpful.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Well, I will see you in about a week.
Yep.
Please let me know if you need anything.
Thank you. Bye-bye.